The Pentagon runs war simulations constantly, thousands of them, testing every scenario, every weapon system, every strategic variable against every possible adversary. Against China, they keep losing. Not occasionally, not in edge cases, across every simulated conflict, in every theater, with every combination of American assets deployed. The results keep coming back the same way. The reason is not one weapon. It is 8 of them. And by the time we reach number 1, you will understand exactly why the most senior military analysts in the Western world are not sleeping well right now. Welcome to Big Check Energy. Number 8, Gear-1, the world's first mass-produced military humanoid robot, while Western militaries are still debating conceptual prototypes in conference rooms. China has already moved to production. The GR-1, developed by Fourier Intelligence, is the world's first humanoid robot cleared for mass military deployment. It walks on 2 legs at 5 kilometers per hour, carries up to 50 kilograms of military equipment, and executes complete missions autonomously from reconnaissance through direct engagement, without a human operator in the loop. China is not testing units. It is forming battalions. Thousands of GR-1 robots are being integrated into operational military units right now, capable of functioning in conditions that would be lethal to human soldiers. The project began in 2019. In under 6 years, China moved from concept to deployed robotic infantry. Western programs that began around the same time are still running field trials. Number 7. Wolfpack robots. Coordinated ground combat are impressive. What China built next is something different entirely. Wolfpack combat systems operate exactly as the name suggests. Each unit has a designated role. A lead robot moves ahead, mapping terrain and identifying defensive weaknesses. Support units carry ammunition and supplies. Combat units execute precision strikes based on intelligence fed from the entire network simultaneously. The coordination happens through wireless AI communication, with no human in the decision loop. When one unit detects a threat, every unit in the pack knows within milliseconds and adjusts its position and role in real time. They do not fatigue. They do not make stress errors. They learn from every engagement and do not repeat tactical mistakes. Facing a system that adapts faster than any human commander can respond to is a problem that no existing military doctrine was designed to solve. Number 6. The military commander has built something that military theorists have discussed for decades as a hypothetical, an artificial intelligence system capable of commanding real military operations. This AI commander operates continuously, developing combat tactics across conventional warfare and cyber domains simultaneously. It processes battlefield data at speeds no human general can match, coordinates thousands of weapon systems in parallel, and executes decision cycles in milliseconds rather than minutes. What makes it particularly alarming is the training methodology. The system was built by analyzing the command patterns of history's most effective military minds and synthesizing their strategic approaches into a single decision engine that combines the tactical ruthlessness of aggressive commanders with the methodical precision of strategic planners. It does not fatigue. It does not experience the cognitive collapse that affects human commanders in chaotic battlefield conditions. And it cannot be bribed, threatened, or manipulated. A general that never sleeps, never doubts, and processes more information per second than an entire command staff. That is what China has built and is already deploying in simulated operations. Number 5. Blowfish A3. The silent bomber drone. Most combat drones make noise. They generate radar signatures. They give defenders time to respond. The Blowfish A3 does none of those things. Developed by Xian Wuov, this autonomous bomber uses electric propulsion to operate in near total silence. It carries air-to-ground missiles with radar guidance or precision laser-guided bombs, approaches targets without triggering conventional radar systems, and executes its entire strike sequence without a human operator. It detects the target. It plans the attack trajectory. It eliminates the threat. It departs. The entire sequence autonomous, silent, and complete before most defense systems have identified that an attack is underway. At 2 meters long, it can launch from confined spaces, operate for extended periods, and carry a weapons payload that includes machine guns and grenade launchers alongside its primary strike package. The strategic problem it creates is simple. How do you defend against a threat you cannot hear, cannot see on radar, and cannot detect until after the strike is already complete? Number 4, DF-17. Hypersonic missiles that rewrite defense. Every existing missile defense system on Earth was designed around a core assumption: that an incoming missile travels in a predictable arc. Identify the trajectory early enough, and you can intercept it. The DF-17 makes that assumption worthless. Traveling at Mach 10, roughly 12,000 kilometers per hour, the DF-17 does not follow a predictable arc. It maneuvers. Mid-flight course corrections that turn any calculated intercept solution into a calculation that is already wrong by the time it is completed. The Pentagon's own assessments have confirmed that current American missile defense systems cannot reliably intercept maneuvering hypersonic vehicles at these speeds. Defense Secretary statements on record acknowledge that American forces consistently lose simulated engagements where DF-17 systems are deployed against carrier strike groups. The economic equation is equally brutal. A DF-17 costs approximately $1 million. A U.S. aircraft carrier costs $13 billion. The arithmetic of modern naval warfare has been fundamentally rewritten. Defense number 3. Yak Robot logistics in impossible terrain. Number 2. Military supply chains are vulnerable. Moving ammunition and equipment to forward positions across difficult terrain has historically required human soldiers exposed to the same threats they are trying to supply. China's Yak Robot eliminates that vulnerability. This quadrupedal system carries 160 kilograms of supplies at 10 kilometers per hour across terrain that would stop conventional vehicles entirely. Snow, desert, rocky mountain passes, swampland. 12 integrated sensory modules allow it to navigate dynamically, jumping obstacles, adjusting gait, and maintaining load stability in real time. China is already deploying Yak systems along contested border territories where terrain previously made heavy equipment logistics nearly impossible. Supply lines that required human exposure to hostile conditions are now operated by machines that have no survival requirement and no fatigue threshold. 2. Underwater Manta ray drones. The Invisible Fleet conventional submarines generate vibration. Sonar systems are specifically designed to detect that vibration signature. It is the fundamental vulnerability of underwater warfare. China's underwater drone program attacks that vulnerability directly. These autonomous underwater vehicles copy the undulating movement pattern of manta rays, eliminating the mechanical vibrations that make conventional submarines detectable. They can navigate adjacent to enemy vessels without triggering existing sonar systems, position themselves near coastlines, and remain dormant for weeks or months awaiting activation. China has deployed multiple systems across international waters, forming an underwater surveillance and strike network that is, by design, invisible to the detection technology currently in use by every other naval power. The strategic implication is not theoretical. Enemy submarines may already be positioned near critical ports and shipping lanes. There is currently no reliable method to find them. Fleet number 1. Light-bending invisibility suits. Every weapon on this list is extraordinary. Number 1 operates in a category that most people still classify as science fiction. China's military invisibility suits use metamaterial technology, microscopic structures engineered into fabric that redirect light around the wearer rather than reflecting it back to an observer. The result is a soldier who is not camouflaged, not concealed behind cover, literally invisible to the human eye. The system goes further than optical invisibility. At full operational power, the suits suppress thermal signatures and radar returns simultaneously, defeating not just human observation, but every sensor category currently deployed in battlefield environments. Before activation, the suit scans its immediate environment, analyzes ambient lighting conditions, and calibrates automatically to achieve maximum transparency. An integrated cooling system maintains the suit's thermal profile, while sensors continuously adjust the light redirection in real time. Intelligence assessments confirm that China has moved beyond laboratory prototypes. Operational units are actively testing these systems in field conditions. A soldier you cannot see, cannot detect thermally, and cannot pick up on radar. That is not a future capability. According to available intelligence, it is a present one. 8 technologies. Each one individually would qualify as a generational leap in military capability. Together, they represent something more significant than any single weapon system. They represent a coherent strategy. Not to fight the last war better, but to make the assumptions behind every existing Western defense doctrine obsolete before those doctrines can be updated. The Pentagon loses those simulations not because of one weapon. It loses because the entire strategic framework it built its forces around was designed for a threat that no longer exists in the form it once did. Which of these 8 technologies do you think changes the strategic balance most fundamentally? Drop your answer in the comments below. If this gave you something real to think about, hit the like button and subscribe. We cover these stories at this level of detail every week. We will see you